Today we're going to talk about 4 clubs. Yes, just 4 clubs. If you can master these 4 clubs, you're going to start playing better golf. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV and the Sanford Power Golf Academy. And we want to keep this darn game as simple and as easy as possible. And if you're trying to master 14 different golf clubs in your bag, you are making things way too difficult. So today we're going to talk about what are those 4 clubs? What are the 4 clubs that you need to master to play your best golf and get the most out of your practice time? Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and also be sure to leave a comment. What are the clubs that you like to use, that you practice with, that help you the most? Because the 4 that you pick might be a little bit different than the 4 I'm going to share with you. So here's what you're going to do. The first one I want you to practice with, and you got to master, is the club that you use to start the hole. That's the tee ball. All right. So I got a driver right here. Now, for you, it might not be a driver. Maybe it's a 3-wood. But you got to have a club that you practice with that you can get in the fairway on a consistent basis. And for most golfers, that is the driver. If you're playing 18 holes, most golf courses, you're going to hit roughly 14 drives or tee balls. All right. So it is a club that you use on a high amount. You use it quite often. So the first tip is, the first club you got to master is you got to master a 3-wood or a driver to get off the tee. Now, if you got some specific questions on how to hit that club, we've already done a ton of videos on that. Be sure to check out our channel because we've done some specific videos on how to hit the driver, not only further, but also more accurate. So that would be club number 1. Now, club number 2 is one that I think everybody should have, and that is, of course, the 7-iron. Now, to tell you a quick story, when I was a kid and I would go practice, I remember my dad saying, "Hey, Todd, when you go to the golf course, hit your 7-iron when you're working on your swing." And man, did I hit a lot of 7-irons. Now, for you, maybe it's a 6-iron. Doesn't matter. 6-iron, 7-iron, 8-iron, something like that. Now, why do you want to feel really comfortable with 1 iron? Well, first of all, you're just going to naturally hit it through the course of a round because that's going to be the distance that you need to hit the ball. So for me, my 7-iron goes about 155 to 160 yards. And inevitably, I'm going to get that distance of shot probably 2 or 3 times in just the natural course of play. But because I'm really familiar and comfortable with my 7-iron, I'll also use it if I'm punching out of the trees or I'm trying to hit some type of creative shot that doesn't require just my normal swing. I've got to really do something special. I can always go to my 7-iron because I have a good comfort level with it. The other thing that I'll say about this with the 7-iron, for me, like I said, might be a little bit different for you, 6-iron or 8-iron, is that if you're just really struggling and you're the type of, hey, I am not hitting my fairway woods very well or whatever it might be, just if you got this type of club, you can get it out there, you can hit 150 yards, you can advance the ball down the fairway, and you can keep moving. So that would be tip number 2. Club number 2 is a mid-iron, 6-iron, 7-iron, 8-iron. Get comfortable with that club because you're going to use it in the natural flow of play, but also it's a go-to club as you're playing. Now, the next 2 are ones that you've probably heard me talk about before, but I will say this, that inevitably you're going to be doing a lot of chipping and pitching and bunker shots and things like that around the green. So you got to get comfortable with one of your wedges. Now, I would suggest a sand wedge. And there's different philosophies on that when it comes to chipping and shots around the green, and you should practice, and one shot's maybe a bump and run, and then the next one is a flop shot, and so you might hit one club with a pitching wedge and one with a sand wedge and things like that. But I would say this video is not for you if you're practicing 15 hours a week. This is the video for the guy or gal who's like, hey, I can practice maybe an hour a week. Find one wedge, particularly probably a sand wedge, and get comfortable with that and use that for all shots around the green. Bunker shots, chip shots, flop shots, you name it. Because if you can get comfortable with one club, it's going to help you out a lot. And you're going to use this club quite often around the green because it's just a natural shot that comes up quite a bit. So that would be the 3rd club, some type of a sand wedge. Now, we all know this. The last club here, all right, the last club here. So and at the end of this, I'm going to share with you a quick tip that you should be doing next time you head to the golf course to kind of tie all this together. But of course, the putter. Everybody knows that. And we've done some fantastic videos on putting. If you haven't seen those, be sure to check those out. But the putter is the one club that you use literally on every hole, all right? And so you gotta get comfortable with the putter. Because if you're not comfortable with putting, man, oh man, the game of golf is going to be really difficult. So make sure you spend some time practicing, with your putter. Short putts, long putts, you name it. Like I said, we've got a ton of information out there already. So you got to get off the tee ball, right? You got to have a tee ball. You got to have a mid iron that you're comfortable with, that you can also use maybe for punching out or specialty type shots. You got to have a club around the greens that you can chip with, those types of things, and you got to have a putter. So next time you head to the golf course, here's what you're going to do. Let's say you're going to go practice. Well, let's say you've got roughly 60 minutes to practice. You've got 4 clubs. You've got 60 minutes. It's pretty simple math. 15 minutes with each club. Now you're kind of touching all the different bases of your game, and in a matter of an hour, you've kind of covered most of the shots that you're going to see when you head out to the golf course. That would be a simple tip and a simple thing that you can do. So hey, let's not make the game more difficult. Let's keep it easy. Master these 4 clubs. If you do that, you're going to start playing some better golf.